One compliance failure that can make the news and paint colleges in a very bad light is HLC compliance. The Higher Learning Commission, HLC, is the accreditation agency for Dodge City Community College and many other colleges and universities in the Midwest. Think of them as the OSHA of higher education. Being HLC compliant means that a school is fully accredited and meeting academic standards with regards to rigor and student outcomes. It also means that students are eligible for federal financial aid, which is extremely important. To be fully accredited, an institution must meet 5 criteria set forth by HLC. The 5 criteria are college mission, integrity, teaching and learning with respect to quality and support, teaching and learning with respect to evaluation and continuous improvement, and institutional effectiveness. Schools have to provide evidence that they are meeting each of the 5 criteria. The first step I would take in meeting all of these criteria and being compliant is to educate all faculty and staff and the Board of Trustees on the 5 criteria and what types of evidence the HLC is looking for. Accreditation is something that affects everyone, all employees, and the Board of Trustees, not just teachers and administrators. This would educate everyone on the process and let them know what the HLC is looking for in terms of evidence. Then I would require, or at least strongly encourage, all faculty and staff and the board members to be on the lookout for evidence to support the criterion throughout the evaluation cycle. They can document the evidence and provide it to the appropriate administrator every so often. Right now, DC3 is preparing for a mid-cycle visit in the spring of 2023. Our administrators have started reaching out and asking faculty and staff for evidence to support these criteria. This is somewhat of a reactive approach. It would be less time consuming and more beneficial and probably better to have a proactive approach. If the faculty and staff documented evidence and submitted it to the administration every quarter, the information would then be there when the administrators needed it, and they wouldn't have to scramble to gather evidence. Plus, asking everyone to take an active role in the process makes them take ownership of the process, and they feel like accreditation is something they do instead of something that is done to them. The next step would be to ensure that all faculty meet HLC qualification requirements. This is usually what throws colleges into non-compliance and puts them either on probation or keeps them unaccredited. To teach at a community college level, faculty must have a master's degree in the field they teach or a master's degree in another field with at least 18 graduate hours in the field they are teaching. For full-time academic faculty, this is actually an easy step. The hiring and salary placement guidelines follow the HLC requirements. It gets a little more complicated when it comes to adjunct instructors, especially those teaching dual credit courses. Rural community college like DC3 offers several general education credit, dual credit courses that are taught at area high schools, often by high school instructors. The problem is that many of the high school instructors have degrees in education and not necessarily a master's degree in the field they're teaching. When this is the case, the course needs to be taught by someone who is HLC qualified, either an adjunct instructor or a full-time faculty, perhaps via an online format. On the workforce side, instructors do not necessarily have to have a master's degree if they have the proper certifications and work experience. The key to being compliant in this area would be documentation. If the faculty member is a new hire, the documentation needs to be in place before the contract is signed. If it's current faculty, they need to update their qualifications on a yearly basis if there are any changes. Many of the workforce instructors, faculty members have to take continuing education courses to remain certified. In addition to ensuring that all faculty meet HLC requirements, the faculty evaluation process should be modified. Instead of the standard checkbox self-evaluation administrative observation form, the faculty member would need to keep a working portfolio of their professional development and academic achievements and accomplishments to show continuous growth and improvement in the areas of instruction. Faculty would still be observed by an administrator as per the negotiated agreement, but the portfolio would provide more insight and information so the administrator could complete their evaluation more effectively. Also, shifting to a portfolio type evaluation would aid in the gathering of evidence for meeting the criteria associated with teaching, learning, and continuous improvement. The last step I would take is to establish a process for program and department review and assessment. Not just academic departments and programs, but all departments and programs. Again, accreditation affects everyone, even the athletic programs. Since the accreditation cycle is a 10-year cycle, I would recommend a 3 to 4 year rotation depending on the number of programs. So each program or department would be reviewed at least twice per cycle. Academic and workforce programs would present their reviews to the curriculum and assessment committees, and the other departments and programs on campus would need to be reviewed by a co-curricular committee. This approach to HLC accreditation would shift that accreditation mentality from a once every 10 years scramble for evidence approach to an everyday ongoing cycle of continuous improvement.